Now, thank you, Shadrach Kareria, for that. That story now brings us to our second part of this show here on The Big Idea, where we're going to have a discussion with Anita Soina. So she is a 21-year-old environmental activist, a graduate from Multimedia University of Kenya, passionate about social change with a strong inclination to environmental policy. Now, she has written a book dubbed The Green War, a book that highlights different environmental justice in Kenya and Africa. Now, Anita Soina is an aspiring Kjaiado North Member of Parliament who believes she has what it takes to unseat the current Member of Parliament. This is The Big Idea. Thank you so much, Anita, for making time for this show.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome to LookupTV.
Thank you so much.
Let's just start with the basic question. Why you, and why do you think you're the right candidate to actually be a Member of Parliament for the people of Kjaiado North?
Looking at the leaders that we've had before, and actually my competitors in this race, I'd say I'm the best candidate. I started giving back to the society while I was young. Okay. I started engaging in politics and leadership from as early as 17 and actively in the 2017 elections. And I also started an organization at the age of 18 with no resources, with no power. We've been able to do much for the society. Now,
when you say 2017 election, you actually started being active in politics. What exactly, how? Let's just
yeah, after I completed my high school in 2016, we now had the general election in 2017, where I didn't have my ID to participate like directly, but I used my social platforms to even campaign for some of the candidates. For me, politics is something I didn't wait until I was 18. It's something I started understanding when I was young. Yeah, from even my grandfather, we used to listen to news, listen to radio when I was young, and I think that's where it came from. Yes.
So what would you say leadership for you actually is? Because when you say it started from a young age for you, what would you say is your definition of leadership, and who, in your view, should a leader be, and do you think you have that?
To me, I'd say being in a position of a leader, you should be in a position to solve the problems of the people who put you in that position. Looking at the challenges, why would you go for leadership position? Of course, we'd always hear all this, I will do this for you, I'll do this for you. Are you able to do that? And are you true to your words that if I get this, then I can do this for the people?
All right. So that is one thing. And let me just, before we get into the actually your political party, let's see, which political party are you buying in?
The one on my right side.
The one on your right side. So you're going with the UDA party.
Yes.
And parties have different ideologies, and we believe that every time somebody chooses a party, they have to believe with whatever that party is selling. And is that the same case with you? Are you in UDA because you believe in what UDA is selling? Or is it a vehicle that you want to get into Parliament?
I'd say the first point that you made is true. I am in UDA because I resonate with the plans that the party has and the ideologies that the party is pushing for. That's why I'm in the UDA party. It's the party that I resonate with as someone who's still hustling, as a hustler, as someone who's still working hard to get somewhere. I'd say I resonate much with the party, and also looking at the plans that they have for the people. Because you know, when you start weighing the parties, we have the priorities that different parties have. Even if it's just in a matter of promises, you will still choose from there. If you are promising to make the lives of the people that I'm even going to represent better, then I will go for that. But if you're promising to go and add more, to push for a referendum, to add more problems to these people who will be paying more taxes, to pay more salaries to other people, then that's not an option for me.
All right.
Yes.
Let's talk about what it represents and what you feel like. What is it about it that when you look at, you feel like it is the best tool for you to use to represent the people of Kjaiado? In your own words, or rather from your perspective, what is it that aids the people of Kjaiado North that you feel using this particular party, I will be able to solve the problems that they actually face?
Kjaiado North, just like any other constituency, has challenges that the party has always talked about, even from our party leader, who has always promised that we are going to empower people from bottom or going up. That's something that even the people, you know, you have to listen to the people as well. The people of Kjaiado resonates more with the party. We have seen that through normal conversations, through rallies, even the rally that we had with the DP. These are people who really resonate with the party that the DP is the party leader. Okay. So we are going for what the people want, and also the party that is going to solve their problems and is keen on highlighting the problems of the people. All right.
Yes. Something still on matters parties. There is always this narrative that political parties are vehicles that politicians use to get into parliament, and once that is done, we do not believe in ideologies. Most of the time, the things that people are promised during elections or during campaigns, after elections, those they become pipe dreams or something like that. You you are promising the people of Kjaiado, I think, a better Kjaiado North. You're promising them probably heaven on earth or something like that, if not close. Then how do you plan to achieve that using your party?
Like I said before, it's not wrong to be politically literate and to use a party as a tool to get to power. You know, looking at, for example, why I want to be there, apart from the normal issues that we want to solve in the society, is also to see a climate activist, a climate justice activist sitting there, because we now have other challenges related to climate change that are very serious. So if this is the party that can get me to that position, where I am sure that if I go with this party, it's the party that people resonate with, it's the party that people can even listen to me and allow me to get to that position, so I can be able to solve the thing that I wanted to, then that's okay. All right. Yeah.
Coming back to now what you do most of the time, because I termed you as an environmental activist. How is that? How do you plan to use that probably for the people that you want to represent in parliament?
You know, vying for the seat of an MP at Kjaiado North is not only to represent the people of Kjaiado North, but even the people of Kenya. Okay. We've had our climate change is a threat right now, and Kenya is not, has not been spared either. We've seen the cases that we have, and you know, coming from a community as well that has also faced a lot of climatic change effects, we are seeking to use this power to also push for policies and make sure that, as much as we are promising people that we're going to eradicate poverty, we shouldn't forget that climate change is worsening poverty levels. So, you know, standing to vie as a member of parliament in Kjaiado North and solving the environmental challenges that we have as well there, because we do not have access to clean and safe water and all other issues surrounding environment, then it's also a plus. Okay. Yeah.
Politics. You are young. I know they say politics most of the time is a dirty game. Do you believe you have what it takes to actually be on the campaign trail? Play the politics that most of the time is played in this country at your age?
To be honest, it's a challenge. Okay. I'd say the kind of politics that we have in our country may not be safe, but I'm well prepared for it. Okay. Because I remember when we were young, we used to be told you are the leaders of tomorrow. And it got to a point, I became a youth, and when I got to become a youth, I also had the same thing, that youths are the leaders of tomorrow. And it hit me that tomorrow I may not be a youth. Okay. So I am the leader of today, and looking at the challenges that I want to address them today, then this is the right time. Okay. I believe in starting now. All right. Yes.
And I think I've asked this question before, in terms of it is the right time, and probably if I pose it to you again, what makes it the right time for you, especially you, just as a person? What makes it the right time for you in terms of just wanting to be in parliament and represent the people of Kenya? Because now you say it is not just Kjaiado North alone.
I'd say, borrowing from the words of Mahatma, is be the change that you want to see in the world. Enough of all the injustices that we've had, enough of all the promises that we've had, enough of all the fake promises. Then so that makes me feel like I am fit for this, and this is the time. Reason, many a times we've had cases, even these issues of development that we are promised. The reason why they never happen is because they keep thinking about, I think I will do it next year, I will do it next year, until it gets to next term. That is to do away with. And also why I feel like this is the right time is because we have a lot of youths standing to be counted right now. And this is the right time to come together and merge our efforts, regardless of the party that you are supporting, because the goal is to have us as youths decide our future, not people decide our future in our absence.
All right. Yes. Now, the youth deciding the future, the youth have been somebody who is older than you will argue that we cannot, looking at you, they say you're too young probably to lead, and we cannot trust you with power. Step aside, let somebody else who is older than you to lead. Then the youth that are supposed to be voting for you, most of them have not even registered as voters, because now we are in the second phase of actually having that mass registration. We were the last time IBC was targeting about 6 million, and we got about 23% of that. And there's not that much interest. So if the people that are voting right now are people that might not trust you with power, how do you plan to get into power?
For me, it's different. I love to remind them every other time that this is a young girl with a track record. I didn't just wake up from anywhere and say I'm going to vie. I have proven before through the kind of work that I've done. I have represented the country even in conferences outside. And I have also been able to even link other youths from my social media platforms to jobs when myself I was still in school and didn't have a job. It's not something that I just woke up out of nowhere and decided to do it. The challenge that we have is that most youths, even right now, is that when you go on socials and when we even meet one-on-one, they tell you, I won't vote. I'm not interested in voting. And I think it's time that we also sit down as youths and think about it. You not voting, how is that a solution? Yes.
So what kind of, you know, how do I put it? Like mobilization for you on your part, are you doing to ensure that the youth that you want to vote for you actually go register as voters and vote for you come August?
I try most of the times to use the powerful tools that I have. That for sure I can tell you is social media, and also the ability to move from, it's like the door-to-door campaigns. We sit down with the youth most of the time, more than everyone, because if you go out there, even in my constituency, women are ready to vote. The old people are ready to vote. Now, I sit down with the youths, and we normally have it as a discussion, and not like telling them that you are the problem. No, sitting down and trying to understand why does this person, why has this person chosen not to vote? Why is this person choosing to stay away from registering as a voter? So when you sit down and understand them, then it makes it easy for me to now make it make sense. That, you know, if you don't vote, you just imagine if all of us youth stayed at home and said we are not going to vote, then we wouldn't even have a right to come and ask. Why will you come and ask me what I've done for you, yet you don't even vote? So we need to vote, so as we keep the leaders accountable, then we have the right to do so.
All right.
Yes.
Now let's look at now the youth factor. For you, I feel that it is because being a youth, I think you want to endear yourself to the youth and show them that there's actually a possibility of having good leaders in Parliament come after August. What is it that they have? What kind of policies would you feel like should be pushed in Parliament for the people that you will be representing first, and also the people that are in the bracket of in the age bracket that you are in?
I'd say for the case of unemployment, for example, it's something that we've been thinking about. Most of the time we have even investors who come to Kjaiado North. Why don't we have like a certain percentage of people that are working in that maybe farm or company or wherever business being the people of Kjaiado North? Because that's how I feel we are going to solve the issue of unemployment. Looking at other cases affecting women and all that, and also looking at the funds that have been being given out. You sit down with them and most people don't know that there are grants. Most people don't know how to access the loans and all that. Then we have to make it a mandatory that whenever there are loans and whenever, we have to find a way that they are going down to the people. So we don't just put it on magazines behind the newspaper and you're telling people that you need to apply for a certain tender or something, and then not many people can even read newspapers, not many people have social. So we want to make, also looking at Kjaiado. Kjaiado is a cosmopolitan constituency. Kjaiado North has all the tribes. We have a very big issue of inequalities because you come from a certain tribe and this tribe, and that's what we also want to scrap off.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's talk about making it go down to the common mwananchi, and them also understanding that there are these benefits that the government is actually providing for you, there are these opportunities for you, and you can actually access them. And you say putting it on a newspaper might not actually get to everybody. Yes. From where you sit, what would be the best way to actually do that?
I think we have a lot of groups. The same way we use groups to ask for votes is the same way we can use the same groups down from the people to bring the opportunities to them. It's not that hard. Every time when people are coming out to ask for votes, they get to places they have never gotten to. What makes you think that it's impossible for them to bring the opportunities down to the people? Okay,
so you could actually do that yourself and
yes.
go door to door
yes.
and ensure that. Is it not just a political promise that you're promising the people of Kjaiado North, and maybe once you get there, because people do change, once you get there, then it becomes a different story?
For sure, for myself, I don't send people to ask votes for me. I go to the people. Okay. And that's also something that will even help me come back to the people, because you came and asked for votes, you didn't send anybody, so why are you running away? And also looking at the fact that I want to be different. I am daring to be different. I want to be the change. Running away then will even kill my leadership career in the future, and that's not something that I want. It's not that I want to end at this point.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's look at campaign financing, because it is expensive to run a campaign. You've just graduated the other day, and you are now contesting for parliamentary seat. Where do we get the funds to fund you for parliamentary, for this seat?
Looking at the culture of politics in Kenya, for sure, it's very expensive. Looking from the way that the culture that the leaders of yesterday and the leaders of today are continuing to create, making sure that youth have no jobs, so that when they come tomorrow with a 50 shilling, it's heaven. It's heaven for them. That's something that has become a barrier and a challenge for many youths. Also looking at the amount of money that people have to pay maybe to register in a political party or to also belong to a certain party. It's not that easy. But I'd say for us, what we're doing is just trying to also change the narrative. We are trying to talk to people and make them understand that if I give you 100 shillings today, we have over 100,000 registered voters in Kjaiado North. So that means if I get to power, I have to focus on getting back the money. If I took a loan, for example, I have to pay back the loan. Then how will I come and work for you? But on the case of the other logistics needed, we are really trying our best, and we are having a few friends who are supporting us. And we even have our fellow youths who keep making calls and asking, well, how can we contribute, how can we support? You know, I'm going to fill that car that it drops you somewhere. So we are just we're working with other young people, and even some old people who also believe in our ideologies. But we believe everything is going to be fine. Okay. Yes. Now
let's talk about that particular and how you plan to claim that seat, because your party leader, sometime back in a different interview, said, and this was in relation to a different candidate, that when we give somebody a ticket to vie for a seat, we want to give somebody who we are sure they are going to win and bring us that particular seat, give us that particular seat. So do you believe you have the favor of the party in terms of just being on the ground, you yourself? Or when it comes to nominations, it's going to be a different kind of
I have done that research before, because we also got a lot of information, even from our opponents, who go around telling the people that I already have the ticket in the pocket. And every day we remind them that by doing that, you're trying to tell the voters of Kjaiado North that their votes don't matter. How do you have a ticket in the pocket when we have not gone for primary parties? For sure, one thing that I know for the party is there's going to be free and fair elections during the nominations.
What is it that guarantees that?
Let me tell you something. We are looking at having most of, everybody wants to have most of the people elected through their party. So if you are going to give, for example, if you're going to give someone a ticket who didn't win during the primaries, who was not chosen by the people, then you are even I'd say you're killing the party, because you've given someone the ticket for whichever reason, and you're not given the person who was given by the people. So what makes you think that when it gets to August elections, they are going to vote for the person who you just gave a ticket and they didn't like the person? Exactly.
So you believe that it is going to be free and fair?
Yes.
Is there anything there
for our party it's going to be free and fair?
What is it about your party that guarantees you a free and fair nomination?
Because we've had these discussions before, and as much as we've heard about all these, you know, some are propaganda that are sent by the opponents, you know. So they will always send something to scare even other people from our party to shift that, you know, in UDA there are no free and fair nominations. So they will scare us so we can run away from the party that we relate to. Yes.
All right. I want to, still on that party, I want to ask about something important. And I believe when you get, be successful and get into parliament, you will also get to probably face this one when it comes to party discipline and issues that have to deal with party loyalty. When your party decides to support an agenda that probably you as a person do not agree with, what kind of move would that mean for you?
Let me just make this clear. We have seen that before happen, that in parliament people vote because you want to prove so and so wrong, you want to prove so and so that you don't have numbers or we have the numbers, which is something that has even affected the kind of leadership that we have, because sometimes you pass something just because of loyalty or something which is not good for the people and may not even be good for yourself tomorrow. This I assure you, and I say it every day, that when I get there, because I'll make sure that I stand by what is right. So that if this is affecting the people, I shouldn't just support it because of party loyalty. In this way, we are even able to convince the party that, you know, whatever you're doing is not good for the people. And we have been talking about maybe such economic model to empower this person. So we are going to stand by the truth. Personally, I will.
I'd like to get into that economic model, but I think that I'll be deviating for the main part of this discussion. Let's focus on, get to the main subject here, which is Kjaiado North. You are vying for that. What is it about Kjaiado North that you feel like is an ill that should be corrected and probably has motivated you to actually get into politics?
First of all, I am from Kjaiado North. I left Kjaiado North to study in a different high school and primary school and came back to Kjaiado North for my campus. First of all, that's my hometown. Second, looking at the challenges that people have that I mentioned before, it is a cosmopolitan constituency that, you know, we said we have to allow people to live anywhere in the country. And sitting down with most of the people, you'll realize that whenever we have a certain leader from a certain tribe in Kjaiado North, they will always neglect, when it comes to bursaries and all other things, some tribes are neglected, which is something that I don't support at all. And it's something I feel that I should sit there to change that. And also looking at other environmental challenges, we have the worst environmental challenges, especially in the town areas. We know we have Ngong dam sites, which is not good for the people. We also have sewages and all. Rongai is generally, Rongai, Ngong, and some other towns in Kjaiado North are not environmentally friendly at all.
Right. So does that mean probably you feel like the people that are in power right now, the people that you want to replace, are not doing enough when it comes to representing the people of Kjaiado?
Yes. They are not doing enough.
You will be a different voice.
Yes, for sure.
People on the ground know that.
And to also confirm this, I think the people of Kjaiado North will make the right decision by voting me, and then they will. All
right. Assuming you don't get there, because sometimes we dream and it becomes utopia. If you don't get there, what happens?
I will continue to champion for what I've always championed for.
Which is?
Social justice, environmental justice, and all kind of justice. I'll continue being an activist, human rights activist, social, positive social change catalyst in the society. And I will continue supporting the ideologies of the party. I will continue supporting the ideologies of leaders who will see will be better.
All right. Yes. Let me get to a title that you share, a Green MP. You're a Green Member of Parliament. Why? Why Green?
Right now, where the world is heading to, we cannot talk about anything without addressing climate crisis. And the only solution to this is having environmentally conscious people to get to power. And referred to as green politicians.
Okay.
I have been championing for that before. I will continue championing for it. I have seen, we have been advised, even in the climate change movement, that if you believe that you have leadership in you and you can seek leadership, then this is the right time. Because every time we address our problems, during our strikes, our global strikes and all that, we address it to, we always say, dear world leaders, dear leaders. Then now it's our time as environmentally conscious people to sit in these positions, because we now understand, so we can be able to push for what we've tried pushing from outside. Yes.
All right, let's get into now, as we wind up on this discussion, on why the people should trust you. Now, I believe we live in the age of social media. When Kenyans look for you and want to find out exactly who Anita Soina is, what exactly do they find?
Environmentalist.
Environmentalist,
Yes.
nothing else. Okay. So, do you believe you, as a political figure in this country right now,